大家好，好不好？吃饱了吗？很好。听日我会打淡薄调酒嘅。要是了 vote 我嘅 Pongol GRC team and 我能呀，即個 GE 將來嘅牛呢，特更我能去使打調酒嘅。感謝你嘅 support. I would like to spend a short while addressing our Malay friends from Pongol GRC. Apa khabar semua? Bila saya masuk rally site ini tadi, saya lihat ada ramai orang Melayu di sini. Abang-abang, kakak-kakak, adik-adik, mana semua? Dengan lagi semangat, mana semua? Nama saya Harpreet Singh. Saya tahu, saya dengar, ada orang yang cakap, yang peguam senior Singh ini, kita tahu dia pandai cakap bahasa Inggeris. Dan kita pun ada dengar, dia boleh cakap bahasa Teochew. Tapi, orang tanya, yang peguam Singh ini, dia boleh cakap bahasa Melayu ke? Peguam Singh ini, dia boleh faham isu-isu yang penting untuk kaum Melayu di Singapura ke? Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, saya fikir you just got your answer. Isu-isu seperti rising cost of living, education, keadilan, itulah isu-isu yang saya dan Parti Pekerja nak lawan. So that anak-anak kita semua dapat hidup yang lebih kualiti dan gembira daripada sekarang. Kita perlukan support atau sokongan anda dalam GE yang akan datang ini. Mudah-mudahan kita dapat shape satu Singapura yang lebih hebat daripada sekarang. Jadi, undilah Parti Pekerja. Undilah Parti Pekerja. Vote for the Workers' Party. Terima kasih. My fellow Singaporeans, I want to move on to my speech in English. And I want to address right up 3 big questions that residents of Pongol GRC have asked our team in our walkabouts over the last few days. The first big question: what will you do for us if we vote for you? Now, on Saturday, the PAP team acknowledged that there is still a lot to do to improve Pongol. They have plans, but I have news. We have plans too. First up, let's get this point out of the way. It is important to understand that the national level plans, such as the Pongol Digital District, those are going to continue regardless who is voted in. Those are national plans. For example, if voters in East Coast GRC vote our team there in, the construction of Terminal 5 Changi Airport is not going to stop. Anyway, that was never part of the East Coast plan. Second, the difference will lie in the way your constituency and Pongol GRC is run. Let me explain that. We, if we are elected, will take over the town council and we will run it effectively and as best as possible. You can ask your friends and family in Sengkang. Has the condition of Sengkang gone down after the Workers' Party took over? Absolutely not. What will be the approach of our team in the way we run Pongol GRC if elected? 2 words. We listen. Because Pongol GRC residents, you know best. You live in this area. You walk around the streets here day in, day out. You know where the gaps are. You know where the seepages are. You know where the covered walkways stop. You know where your children get drenched in the rain. You know exactly what needs to be improved in Pongol. We are not going to act like bureaucrats, pushing paper, thinking we know better than you. So, rest assured, our team will conduct town halls to get your input. We will use other platforms and forum to get your input, including those online. Rest assured, you will drive the agenda for what needs to be done in Pongol, and we will be your servants. Yes, we will have our parliamentary duties if we are elected. There will be national issues to speak about, both concerns of residents in Pongol and our fellow Singaporeans. But these municipal issues on the ground, they affect all our daily lives. And our team will give them equal attention. We will do that. Now let me make this other point. The PAP team on the other side has 3 office holders. They have busy jobs downtown, but we will be here for you, listening and acting. And let me say this of myself. I have publicly said this, and I repeat this commitment to you, voters of Pongol GRC. If elected, I will give practically all of my time to you. And that's because I will be paring down my legal work and committing more and more time to you and fellow Singaporeans to talk about the things that are important for our country. I have that privilege. And I intend to use that privilege for all of you and for our fellow Singaporeans. So you will have certainly my undivided attention. Now, the beauty of it is this, Pongol GRC voters, if you vote our team in, Singaporeans save not 1, not 2, but 3 ministerial salaries. And there is something else that is beautiful. vote us in, you will get the caliber of our team without having to pay 1 cent in ministerial salaries. And if we are voted in, I would like to say this to DPM Gun's good friend, the Prime Minister and Finance Minister. It is this, that if Pongol GRC voters vote in our team, Pongol would have saved Singapore one minister's, not just one minister's salary, but 3 ministers' salary. $1 million times 3 times 5 years, that's $15 million. Now, so you vote in our team, Singapore saves $15 million. Please, Mr. Finance Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, return some of that to Pongol. Because that $15 million was not raised but through GST or other taxes. It is brought to Singapore by the voters of Punggol GRC. And the only right and fair thing to do is to use some part of that to build covered walkways and everything else that Pongol residents tell us is a priority to be done. So DPM Gun, really you don't have to talk to your good friend. We have a solution here. Now next, ask yourself this. If the PAP is so confident that they have won the trust of Pongol residents and delivered, why did they have to parachute in DPM Gun at the very last minute? No, wait, no booing, please. It's a serious question. You remember, I have said publicly in my interview to the Straits Times that I do not want to be parachuted in anywhere safe, right? Now, I have searched all the news reports, and I have not found anything, any report where DPM Gun has said, I am sick and tired of this safe Chua Chu Kang GRC, and I want to be parachuted in somewhere unsafe. So why did they parachute DPM Gun into Pongol at the last minute? Why are they so insecure? I will tell you why. They know they have not given Pongol GRC residents their all. Our team, will give you our all. Also, Mr. Gan Kim Yong has said that he will speak with his good friend, PM and Finance Minister Lawrence Wong, on funding for more walkways. Now, let me understand this. What was Senior Minister Teo Chee Hean doing 20 years when he was helming Pongol, Pasir Ris Pongol GRC? Was he not good friends with the Prime Minister? Did he not ask the Prime Minister for more support for necessary infrastructure upgrading in Pongol? Now, besides residents, let me make this other point. These are public funds. It does not matter whether we are or not good friends with the Prime Minister. It does not matter whether he accepts our offer to play the guitar and the saxophone together. If the infrastructure is good for residents, we too can ask for it, and that money must be provided because it is your money. Let me next come to the second big point that Pongol residents have asked us to address. isn't there a risk, they say, that we might lose DPM Gun if we vote for the Workers' Party? Now, like I said, no booing any individual. That's not who we are, right? Let's deal with the issues. Let me start up by saying this. I like DPM Gun. We have met on the ground several times during this campaign, and he's a very pleasant person. But the question to ask is, who put DPM at risk in Pongol GRC? Meanwhile, Mr. Victor Lai is coasting in Ang Mo Kio. Let me tell you, there is really no worry about DPM leaving because he is 65 years old and has candidly admitted initially he was not keen to accept the DPM role. So we can thank DPM Gun for his service, but he reflects the past, not the future. Second, DPM Gun can still continue to contribute to Singapore even if he's not a political office holder. Remember Mr. Ng Chee Meng? You know, the government can make two roles available for Mr. Ng Chee Meng and DPM Gun after this election, and they can keep each other company. Third, this election is not about whether you have senior office holders in this GRC. It's about the future direction of this country. The PAP has lost their bearings, and let me explain why. Just a few days ago, Mr. Lawrence Wong said, or warned against voting more opposition MPs because he said that will mean an additional wealth tax to those living in private estates and landed property. You know, I cannot imagine a statement that is more out of touch with what is happening on the ground and the anxiety of Singaporeans. Singapore's inequality has skyrocketed, and the Prime Minister is effectively saying to everyone, vote for the PAP so the rich in private estates and landed property do not have to worry about paying more from proposals on increasing the wealth tax. When the Prime Minister or the PAP warns about more taxes for landed property owners, you know who they're worried about. It is not you. That is what I mean when I say the direction is completely wrong. Now, the responsible who are rich the responsible rich in Singapore know that inequality is a threat and we need to address it. The Workers' Party will address it. We will speak up boldly for ordinary Singaporeans. Now, let me next say this. What is critical for us on the other side is fair politics and accountability. A lot has been said about the Allianz deal. Mr. Ng Chee Meng was head of NTUC at the time, and he saw no problem with it. Make no mistake, he dropped the ball. We now know that DPM Gun also had a role in the transaction because he was chairman of MAS, the regulator ultimately deciding whether to approve this transaction or not. Mr. Tan Swee Chee has now written an open letter to all residents of Pongol GRC asking serious questions of DPM Gun. So let me say this to DPM Gun, and I say this respectfully. DPM Gun, will you answer Mr. Tan Swee Chee's questions? Because there are important questions being asked on behalf of all Singaporeans. And DPM Gun, if you will not answer, please tell us why you will not answer. Because this is about accountability, and real leadership never fears scrutiny. It welcomes it. So let me very quickly wrap up my third point. Will there be instability if you vote the opposition? The answer is no. Make no mistake, in this election, the PAP will be returned to power. Mr. Lawrence Wong will be Prime Minister. He will be supported by the civil service, and President Tharman is there as the final check. And you will have a strong, loyal opposition, one loyal to Singaporeans. That, my friends, that does not weaken Singapore. That makes Singapore stronger. True stability comes from confidence, not from controlling 90% of Parliament. Now, your vote is going to be an important signal to the government. They will be looking at two things. What is the PAP's vote in this election? Will it go below 60%? And if so, how much? 58, 57, 56? And they will be looking at how many more GRCs and SMCs does the Workers' Party and other opposition MPs secure. That is your strongest message to the government about what they need to do. Use that power. In conclusion, in closing, remember, when you get into the voting booth, Pongol GRC residents, you're not voting just for Pongol. You are voting for the future direction of Singapore. And the hopes of thousands and thousands and thousands of Singaporeans are in your hands. And you'll be voting not just for present generations, but generations unborn who will thank you if you open up Singapore to the Workers' Party with a stronger presence in Parliament. It's a huge, huge privilege you have. You can shape history. You can bend it in a more positive direction. Don't miss this opportunity. The time for change is now. Bless you all. Vote Workers' Party.